Hello and welcome to the 2023 Concrete Pump Supply Open Enrollment. As you may have heard by now, we are making a change to our medical insurance. We are beginning with Aetna July 1st, and the wonderful aspect of the Aetna programs is that we're offering a very large national network. So you should have access to a very large number of providers, which should make things a little bit easier for you as you seek care. This is also our open enrollment month for the Unum policies. We are not going to focus much of our time today on Unum, with the exception of this. If you want to make changes to Unum, you'll need to do that manually. So if you would, reach out to Natalie or Felicia and let them know that you want to make changes. So the changes that you may want to make with Unum are certainly adding coverage, deleting coverage. But if you want to add coverage for a spouse or dependent, those kinds of things, that's the time. This is the time to do it for Unum. If you don't make any changes to your Unum plans, if you don't let Natalie or Felicia know something needs to change, we will continue with the same exact level of coverage you have under Unum that you have now. So the coverage you have in place now will be the coverage that continues July 1st and beyond. So if you like where you're at with Unum, you don't need to do a thing. Just the folks that want to make a change under the Unum plan would need to reach out to Natalie to do that. So that's the gist of what I'll talk about with regard to Unum today. Most of our discussion is going to be focused on Aetna. We're offering 3 different insurance plans with Aetna, and I'm going to kind of talk about the basics here with you guys today. The first plan is called a 6250 Integrated RX plan, and that 6250 Integrated RX plan has has a couple different nuances that I want to point out to you to make sure you understand, because it's unique in certain ways and very traditional in certain ways. So the 6250 identifies the level of deductible. So a single deductible for this particular plan is $6,250. It's $12,500 for the family. The nice piece of the puzzle here is that this particular plan gives you 100% level of what's called coinsurance, how much the insurance carrier pays as opposed to how much you as an insured pays. Aetna will cover 100% after you've met your deductible, which is a terrific level of coverage. Your out-of-pocket maximum, which is your worst case scenario, is $7,500 for one person. That out-of-pocket max bucket, so to speak, is a bucket that's inclusive of your deductible of $6,250, your coinsurance, which really from your perspective is zero. The insurance carrier pays 100% after you met your deductible. But you'll see as we go through this that there are copays associated with some services. So your out-of-pocket max includes the copays, the coinsurance, and the deductible. So once that $7,500 out-of-pocket max has been met, then this particular policy covers 100% for the rest of the year. This is a very good level of kind of catastrophic protection. Now, this particular plan, the Integrated RX plan, allows you to go see a routine doctor for $35 copay, very traditional. But if you were to go see a specialist, you've got to meet your deductible first before you can access a specialist copay. So how that would work is this: if you were to go see a non-routine doctor, a specialist, you would pay for that service. The cost of that service would then be applied to your deductible. And if you were to meet your deductible in that calendar year, then you would then have access to the $75 copay. So that's kind of the unique aspect of this particular plan, is that your deductible comes into play for non-routine office visits. So keep that in mind as you kind of evaluate which plan makes the most sense for you. The level of coverage for urgent care is simply a $75 copay. The emergency room is a $500 copay, but it's after you've met your deductible. And then you have prescription drug coverage. So we talked about the deductible coming into play for certain things on the office visit side. It comes into play on some of the prescription side too. You're able to access generic medication at either a $3 copay or a $10 copay. But if you needed preferred brand, it'd be a $50 copay after you've met your deductible. Non-preferred generic brand medication, $80 copay after you've met your deductible. And specialty drugs are available to you at a 20% coinsurance to a cap of $250 for preferred, or 40% to a cap of $500 for non-preferred. So again, as you look at plans, keep in mind that the Integrated RX plan, the deductible does come into play a little bit more routinely than what you have seen maybe in some other insurance plans. So factor that into your equation. The next plan option that we have is what's called an HSA, stands for Health Savings Account, compatible plan. So this particular plan, if you were to purchase this plan and be enrolled into this plan, gives you the opportunity or the option to set up a health savings account. The health savings account is basically a checking account or savings account that allows you to put money into that account with pre-tax dollars, so it comes right out of your paycheck, and you're able to spend those dollars for medical related expenditures, and not just medical insurance, but dental, vision, chiropractic care, acupuncture care. I just got out of orthodontia. We used my HSA dollars for that. So you can spend it on a whole list of different things. But the beauty of it is this: it comes out of your paycheck on a pre tax basis. So for every $100 that goes into your HSA account, you're saving roughly $25. That's nice. And then anything you don't spend out of your HSA rolls over to the next year. So it's not an FSA account, it's a health savings account. And those dollars remain in that account. You own that account, and any dollars unspent roll over to the next year for your ability to use them at that point in time. Now, in order to have an HSA account, you have to have a compatible or a qualified high deductible health plan. This particular insurance plan I'm going to talk about next is qualified to allow you to set up an HSA account. The integrated RX plan is not, and the plan we'll talk about next is not. So if you like the HSA route, this is the only insurance plan that by IRS regulations would allow you to set up an HSA account and contribute funds on a pre-tax basis. The high deductible health plan accounts are a little bit unique. It kind of works just like your automobile insurance. You crack your windshield, you've got to pay your deductible, the insurance company comes out and fixes your windshield. Same scenario here. So before any insurance participation, before Aetna covers anything at all, you've got to meet the $62.50 deductible. After that's been done, you've got a 100% level of coinsurance. So once you've met your deductible, then you've got a 100% level of coverage with the exception of just a few copays. There's an emergency room copay, and your prescriptions have copays. So literally just about everything is covered at 100% under this plan once that $62.50 has been met. The out-of-pocket maximum, which we talked about a second ago, which includes your deductible, coinsurance, and copays, under this plan is $6,900. Again, a very competitive out-of-pocket maximum. As I mentioned, you do have a $500 copay for emergency room visits under the HSA compatible plan after you've met your deductible. And then your prescriptions are covered at a $3 or $15 copay for generic after you've met your deductible. Your preferred brand is a $50 copay after deductible. Non-preferred generic brand, $100 copay after deductible. And you've got specialty medications available to you after you've met your deductible as well. So to reach that out-of-pocket maximum of $6,900 would be kind of hard to do because literally everything's covered 100% with the exception of just a handful of copays. But this is a terrific plan for folks that are looking to save some dollars from a taxation standpoint, for folks that have the ability to set aside some money each year that goes into the HSA account. It's terrific for folks that are in that scenario that have a little bit of extra money that maybe don't use their insurance plan very often. But you could also argue that this is a terrific insurance plan for folks that are historically or traditionally meeting deductibles, that maybe have a surgical procedure, that maybe have chronic conditions. You know, if that's you, then being able to set aside pre-tax dollars, have a 100% level of coverage, and the taxation savings that go along with it, this could be a terrific option for you. It's not for everybody. So if this is an option for you, really consider it. If you have any specific questions or concerns about really any of these plans, but certainly HSA accounts, let Felicia know. I'm happy to reach out to you. We can have a discussion on a one-on-one basis and make sure you have a good understanding as to how all of these plans work, but especially the HSA because it is very unique. So I'm really excited to be offering this particular plan because I do think it could benefit a lot of the folks at Concrete Pump Supply. So it's unique, but can be very beneficial as well. The last plan is a very traditional insurance plan. It's basically an 80-20 plan with a $2,500 deductible. What that means is you've got a $2,500 individual deductible, $5,000 for family. This plan, unlike the first two, provides 80% level of coinsurance. So if you enrolled in this plan, you would participate to the tune of 20% up until that out-of-pocket maximum has been met. The out-of-pocket maximum is $6,000. That's a very, very good competitive level of out-of-pocket maximum in today's insurance world. So again, the out-of-pocket maximum would include your deductible of $2,500, the coinsurance of 20%, which is what you would participate in as you incur expenses. any copays that you would come in contact with. Once all of those things equate to $6,000 in a calendar year, then this particular plan covers 100% of all eligible expenses going forward. Very good insurance plan. What you also might like about this insurance plan is it's traditional in the way that the copays apply. So you're able to go see a routine doctor for $35, no deductible. You can go see a specialist for $75, no deductible. You've got urgent care at $75, no deductible. There is an ER copay of $300 that's after your deductible. So that's one of the few copays under this insurance plan where the deductible comes into play first. But for the most part, you've got 20% level of coverage for most services after you've met your deductible. And then you're also able to access medications with just a copay and no deductible participation. So generic medications are available at either $3 or $10, depending upon the medication. Preferred brand is a $50 copay. Non-preferred generic and brand is an $80 copay. And then you have specialty medications available to you at 20% to $250 or 40% to $500 if it's a non-preferred specialty medication. So we've got three kind of unique plans that I hope meet the needs of all of the folks at Concrete Pump Supply. Again, the month of June is the time to make changes, do your evaluation, figure out which of these insurance plans you want to participate in. As you go through the online enrollment piece, you'll have specific information on all the benefits being offered through each one of these plans. So if you have questions or concerns, please reach out to Natalie or Felicia. Happy to do one-on-one discussions with you guys as you make decisions. But we've got three really good insurance options for you this year. So I'm excited to be playing a small part in offering these to you. So do appreciate very much your time. Good luck with the open enrollment. And as I mentioned previously, if you have questions or concerns, please reach out to Natalie and we can figure out a way to get those questions or concerns addressed. Good luck.